Ooh, just me. Hi. Could get used to this. Hey, we're actually live.
Hey.
Yay, we did it.
Tonight's guest is Mr. Brian Gilmore. Welcome to the show. Brian, how are you doing, Mr. Charismatic, fantastic, wonderful guest, chef, who knows all wonderful things about cooking and kitchen things. I'm totally vamping. Do you see how bad of an improviser I am? Just for you, Brian. This is for you. This is all just to set you up so you can come in and like you can be like, hey, and everybody's gonna be like, he's the coolest guy on the stream. How you doing tonight, Brian?
Hey.
God, that guy's so cool.
I'm doing really well, John. How are you doing?
Excellent.
Thanks for having me. This is really nice. Tonight, we are going to make buffalo cauliflower. So, John, what's your favorite part of buffalo cauliflower?
Oh God, that vinegary spiciness and the crunch is always really nice too. When it's done it all adds up to just
when it's done properly.
Mm-hmm.
When it's done properly,
yes.
Right? The vast majority of cauliflower that I've had, especially in quarantine, fried food is dead pretty much in quarantine because it doesn't travel. It is something that you need to eat pretty quickly or it loses its crunch. People wanted the experience of whatever they would get if they were going somewhere for a Super Bowl party. And if there's anything that is one of my favorite vegan Super Bowl or just party snacks, it is buffalo cauliflower.
Couldn't agree more.
Because we're going to be making a cauliflower steak. And we're going to make our own buffalo sauce, which is easy as hell. And we're going to make watermelon radish fries that are super addicting. It's really filling. So let's make some buffalo cauliflower. Preheat your oven to 350.
You got it.
Take cauliflower.
Mm-hmm.
Trim this cauliflower. When you lay it flat, is it flat or does it have a little bit of a wiggle?
Quite a bit of a wiggle.
So let's turn it up on the part where it's a wiggle. We're going to cut the flat like this, but don't cut all the way through the root because that's what's going to hold the steak together.
Okay.
So just cut a little excess off so that you can have an actual flat surface to cut your cauliflower on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now you're going to look at your head like this and you're sort of going to gauge the sides of it because you're going to want two perfectly even steak. I am going to cut it here. Get rid of that little excess trim. You could put that in salads, save it aside to dip it in the leftover ranch that you may have.
Okay.
Do the same thing with the other side. When you're at a point where you have a flat and a relatively rectangular piece of cauliflower that you can cut perfectly in half. The more even, the more even you make it, the more even it'll cook. So now we're going to take our knives over to the sink, wet your knife, a little bit of wet. Now cut these perfectly in half and then just, use the proper technique. Do this against your fingers. Don't cut yourself.
Sure.
Give yourself an actual edge. Cut right through. You should have two steaks that look just about like this. From here, we are going to season these steaks. And so we're going to season the steaks. I really like to make things really, really, really cohesive. Everything in the meal should be friends with each other. The ingredients in almost any hot sauce. Let's read the ingredients of Frank's Red Hot Sauce. Aged cayenne peppers, distilled vinegar, water, salt, garlic. We're going to be infusing those flavors into our steaks. And then that's what's also going into our sauce. So it's all going to be a cohesive experience when you really cut into this steak. So let's season these. So just as much as you would, like any other thing, a little salt. You don't need to salt cauliflower and broccoli. You don't need to salt brassicas that hard unless you're really, really searing them because their flavor comes through pretty easily. Another thing that's in everything, we got salt, we got pepper in there, right? What's something else that's in Frank's Red Hot that we're going to put in here? Cayenne. Now, here's the thing where there's an optional thing. My preference to cayenne pepper in general is something called Kashmiri mirch because it's basically cayenne, but it has more flavor with less heat. You just coated both sides of your steak with all three of those seasonings, salt, pepper, cayenne. Now you're going to drizzle it with olive oil because this is going to help it get some color. So everywhere that you kind of want to give it some color, sort of douse it and let it go within. So my oven is all the way heated up. My cauliflower steaks are all coated in oil. Get whatever cast iron skillet that you have going, ripping hot. And we're just gonna brown these guys for about 2 or 3 minutes on each side. Do you remember like some of the best Super Bowl halftime shows? There's a few that stick out for me in my childhood, and a few that are more recent that are like, I think objectively the best one.
I think the Prince one is my favorite one of all time.
Oh,
that was just
God.
like
The Prince one was fucking great, yeah. I remember liking the Bruce Springsteen one. That one wasn't like great, but I remember it being like, he always just brings it. You can just always count on the boss. I'm gonna throw some oil into this skillet now, maybe like 2 tablespoons.
okay.
I'm gonna let that heat up for just a sec, and then I'm gonna throw my steaks in there, and by then it should get a little noisy. So let's get some color on these bad boys.
You got it.
So now you're gonna wanna start a timer for 2 to 3 minutes. This cauliflower is almost done browning. I'm gonna turn the heat up on the pan down to medium, okay? So we're gonna give that another minute. And all right, everyone flip your cauliflower over. It should have some nice color on it.
Yeah, it does.
What we're doing mostly right now is we opened the spices and we just toasted them. We didn't burn them, we toasted them. Since the skillet is now at a medium, you're doing a little bit more of a slow color on this side of the cauliflower. This is when we take out our forager butter. We're going to take about 2 tablespoons or just like a dollop of butter. I'm adding enough so that I can baste both steaks. It might feel kind of like a lot, but that's okay, because that's what we're doing, and this is a decadent meal. And here's something that's new. This is celery. I'm taking those leaves off and throwing them into the pan. I'm actually going to prepare 2 cloves of garlic. Now, I know most people will always tell you, hey, if it's 2 cloves of garlic, I'm gonna use 7. But for this, we're not really infusing it with minced garlic. So I'm just doing this. 1 crushed piece of garlic, throw it in the pan. Another crushed piece of garlic, throwing that guy in the pan. So all you want to do to perfume something with that is you put the butter in. Once the butter melts, it becomes a liquid that you then tip the pan over, and then you baste the liquid that's going to have the celery greens and the cracked garlic on it, and then that's going to perfume that with the flavors that are going to be in the ranch. And all that celery stuff that you don't use, that usually just looks like this is stuff that's going to pretty much grill itself. We're technically braising it in the actual juice. So we're going to have celery, butter, and garlic flavor that is going to be basted to the inside of the cauliflower. And the idea is to get as much of the liquid into the cauliflower and then bring it up to a braise. That's one of the most important parts. So that's what you want. Yeah, so the celery greens are really kind of a game changer for the flavor of this, because you're going to serve the celery greens on top of the actual cauliflower itself, and they add a really delicious flavor. Like, if you ever had celery, use the whole thing. The same with cilantro stems, same with parsley stems. These celery greens are part of some of the star of this particular dish. Now, our stuff, it's been grilling, braising, and everything. We've been basting it, and we have all the flavors that we need in there. So now, let's pour in that veggie stock. Whenever you add anything to a pan, you are lowering the heat of that pan. So you do have to make up for that. Now, we're gonna turn our pans back up to high, John, until that veggie stock gets to a simmer. Is your cauliflower simmering?
Cauliflower is simmering. Yep.
Throw that shit in the oven.
You got it.
Now, set a timer for 10 minutes for that. Now we're gonna make some French fries. Are you ready?
Totally.
Yes, let's heat up our fry oil. The best fry oil you can use, sensory memory wise, is peanut oil. I just put the fry oil all the way on high heat until it gets to where I need it to be, and then I back off. But that's only when you're using fry oil that you know has a smoke point at least 350.
So you're saying grease fires are bad?
Because I'm saying grease fires are bad, but also like not having it hot enough, not being able to have oil that could get hot enough without burning will make your fries worthless. So John's working with a daikon radish, which is much easier to find than what I'm working with. That's a kind of Japanese radish that is honestly like pretty much the easiest to find common Japanese radish. So most people should be able to find that. And just wiping down my new cutting board for a little while, which by the way was a birthday present from @WhitneyPuppy. If you want to follow her, it is a Baby Yoda cutting board.
That's fantastic.
That says Choppy Chop on it.
That's fantastic.
Isn't that adorable?
I do indeed.
It's great. Best birthday present. She's a great friend. So I have a radish here. Mine is round. Cut French fries or cut wedges, just like you would a potato. If it has ends, cut off the end. Same kind of thing. No matter what you're cutting, vegetable-wise, you always want to create a flat surface so that you can do stuff that's uniform.
I was going for French fry shapes.
Yeah, do French fry shapes. I'm going to do wedge shapes since mine is round. So the reason I chose watermelon fries is because I think they're pretty. Literally, that's it. You can do it with any kind of fries. So this is what watermelon radishes look like on the inside. They're very pretty. And then this is the wedges that I'm going to make. So what you're going to see me do is you're going to see me coat these almost completely in cornstarch. And that is the only thing you need to do. The recipe says 2 tablespoons for every 2 radishes. But honestly, I just kind of eyeball it. If they're coated in cornstarch, it's not sticky, but it is. And it's not powdery, but it is. It sticks to things. And what it's going to do is it's going to help your fries crisp right up. So this is what my radish fries look like now that they're coated in cornstarch. So just so you know, they're supposed to be looking a little like that. Although with the daikon, I'm sure it's a little harder to see the white. Let's take our cauliflower out.
Oh, that smells so good. Oh my God. I want to eat this right now, but I can't.
And you have your garlic cloves in there too, right?
Yes.
So my fry oil is at exactly 365. I'm gonna toss my boys in.
How long should this timer be?
4 minutes. But yeah, keep your eye on them. That's the part that's like eyeball it, but generally for radishes, 3 or 4 minutes. The way I thought of radish fries, other than the fact that people just already do this, it was one of those things where like I thought about it and then looked it up, and it's like, oh, people do this, but I've never seen anyone make watermelon radish fries because they're so pretty. But yeah, I thought of it because, radishes, roots, potatoes, roots.
Oh.
Let's fry every kind of root.
Throw it in some grease. It's probably going to be good.
And the cool thing about these fries, these take like 3 or 4 minutes. In that time, would you like to make some buffalo sauce?
I definitely would like to make some buffalo sauce.
In order to make this buffalo sauce, it's really just combining hot sauce, butter, garlic, salt, and pepper into like the smallest saucepan you have. Anything is good. We're gonna crush some more garlic. Just open 4 of these cloves. Usually I would just splash some garlic olive oil into this, but since that's not a thing people have, and some people will charge you like $47 for a bottle of that, which is why we're doing this. Crush these just to open them up. Heat up the saucepan, put it on high, throw in your 1 cup of hot sauce, like I'm doing right now. I'm just finishing off my bottle of Red Hot. So most people don't know this, but do you know how to make buffalo sauce before you did this?
Nope.
So what we're doing is I threw my 1 cup of hot sauce, 4 cloves of garlic, 2 tablespoons of forager butter. I think that's it. And I'm putting a lot of butter into mine because I like my barbecue sauce really well emulsified. So I'm just gonna show you how this cooks here because I had this on high heat. But in order to melt, all you're really doing is melting the butter. So if you can see here, sort of what I'm going for. Let me see if I can. There we go. So you're basically just doing that until I pour some buffalo sauce onto my iPad. But most importantly, until that particular part of it is fully emulsified. So do you see how it went from a dark red to now more of a sort of soupy orange? That's what you're looking for. That's sort of that sweet spot. And as you continue to heat it up with the garlic and the butter in there, once you put it back on and you stirred it, once that butter has pretty much all the way melted, you can take it off the heat. What we're doing is we're adding real garlic to bring out the real garlic flavor. We're accentuating the parts of the sauce that we want to taste more real. You're bringing out the natural ingredients from the actual sauce.
I wish I could tell you all how fantastic it smells in this kitchen, but we've got like the buffalo sauce, so like the spicy vinegar is going on, and then the spices, the cayenne and olive oil on the cauliflower, they're all kind of working together here. It's fantastic.
Thanks. So I just took my fries out of the oil, and here they are. I will show you the plate once they're done. John, what's the most important part about making a French fry or something like a French fry right when you take it out, other than draining it on a paper towel or a rack.
I assume it's hype. Is it hype? It's hype.
It's 90% hype and 10% salting them immediately.
That was my next guess.
So salt these bad boys and set them aside. So now we've got a finished cauliflower, nice and warm. We've got a piping hot buffalo sauce. We've got our fries ready to put on the side. We've got one last order of business. We got to make some ranch. Have you ever made ranch before?
Not since going vegan.
The lovely people if you follow at Bestie's Vegan Paradise, it is the best vegan market. Everyone who works there has been really, really great. They turned me on to forager in general. So what we're going to use to make our ranch is forager, sour cream. I like to make ranch in the vessel that I'm going to eat it out of because I hate making too much ranch. I always waste it. I'm never like, ooh, let's eat leftover ranch. Make just as much ranch as you need. So that's why in the recipe, it's not like measurements, it's parts. So we're gonna make this ranch with 4 parts veganese, 2 parts sour cream, and then 2 parts fresh chives, 2 parts fresh dill, 3 parts fresh parsley. Usually ranch has more parsley than that, but since this is a little bit more of a tangy, I'm going for more of like a tangy flavor profile with this. I like to add a splash of apple cider vinegar into this because it kind of helps to give us the tanginess that we would usually get from the sour cream and the buttermilk that would traditionally go into a ranch sauce. So just chop all this shit up. Fold your herbs when you cut them. Whenever you have herbs, don't just like go at them and then you keep having to go through the whatever. One of the best things you can learn is to bunch up your herbs like this, and then to fold them, and then to cut them, because then it just opens them up. So whenever you're cutting herbs, don't just start hacking away. Fold them as many times as you can, and then just evenly cut as you go. Great. Now I'm dicing my chives. I just did that, and now I'm finally dicing it a little bit more. And for the dill is where the folding thing works the most. So whenever you're doing dill, really ball it up as much as you can and then cut it uniformly down to the finger. Okay, great. Now we're gonna mix this all up, just right on your cutting board. Let's get these 4 parts of veganese into your receptacle, however much you're making. Keep in mind that however much you're putting in there, you're gonna have to fit in half as much sour cream. Have you tried forager sour cream yet?
This will be the first time.
Give it a whirl alone.
I will.
Whenever I'm making anything for the first time, I try every component just to make sure to see what it contributes to the dish.
Oh God, that's so good. Would that taste like sour cream? That's just sour cream.
Yep.
2021 as a vegan is much better. It's such a good time to be alive.
Right?
Well, if you're buying vegan food, and literally for no one else.
Okay, so now you have your herbs, right? Cool. So once you have your herbs in there, so it's gonna need the slightest pinch of salt. And after you do that, just the tiniest splash of apple cider vinegar. And if you have if you have red wine, that works too. The way that you make the celery ranch is that you're going to take a microplane or the smallest holes from your cheese grater. You're just going to take the celery and you're going to grate it with the microplane upside down, right above your ranch. And so what you're going to do is you're going to grate this. You're not going to get the fibers in there, but you are going to end up, it might take you like about a minute per teaspoon. So, it takes a little bit of patience, but the whole point is that you are basically getting freshly grated celery pulp directly into your ranch. And that gives it a little bit more of a vibrance. It makes it lighter, and it gives you more of the buffalo wings experience in that you usually dip celery and ranch. Look, it's kind of cute. It looks like green, and then you just mix it in.
Nice.
Mix that up real well. Literally just toss it around. That's how you make celery ranch. All right, so are you all mixed up with your ranch?
I believe so.
Do me a favor and try it.
That's very good. That's really, really good.
All right, so
It tastes like ranch.
thanks.
We've only gained users throughout this stream. We're a small channel. We don't release that many videos. So thanks friends for hanging out.
Yeah, thanks for being around, everybody. This is really, really nice. We are ready to plate, sir.
Let's play.
Let's do this. So just take your cauliflower, Throw it on your plate. Now, your garlic and your greens, put your garlic and your greens on top of your steak because they are now really well cooked and you can just eat them as part of it. I am plating mine to look like this. So that is before, though, we pour the sauce over onto the cauliflower itself. If your buffalo sauce has died down in heat, throw it on high heat for like 10 seconds. Make sure it's still emulsified. Just spoon as much buffalo sauce as your heart desires all the way through, all the way just on top. And make sure to get into the crevices too, so that it goes all the way down to the bottom. Because remember how thick the steak is. Like, this is cauliflower, but it's a lot of cauliflower, and you don't want any bites without any buffalo sauce in there. And your finished product should look pretty much like that or that. All done. Hey, John, you know what we didn't do last time?
No.
Let's eat it.
Oh, what a good idea.
Have you eaten dinner?
No, I actually forgot to have lunch today.
Cool.
Let's do this.
I literally haven't eaten today, so this is actually pretty nice. So let's take a few minutes to sample this and let me know what you think. Cheers.
Oh my God.
Thanks, Lord.
Holy cow.
This meal is like $20 if you have the forage. If you have the vegan pantry ingredients, this meal costs less than $20 for 2 people.
Yes.
So do me a favor and dip. I know this seems obvious, but dip a bite of fully soaked cauliflower into the ranch for me.
I mean, if I have to. These are big asks you're making on me here, Brian.
I know. I'm not a good friend.
just the worst. Which is delightful. I'm so glad, audience, my recorder failed early in the live stream, so I have to make this again tomorrow. I've never been so grateful for tech issues before.
Cool. I'm really glad you like it, John.
Yeah, man, it's delicious. God, that sauce is just so spicy. And like the texture of the cauliflower, it's not soggy at all. It's not like crunchy, crispy. It's just like vegetables should have like a body to them. They shouldn't just like dissolve away and be like, did I even eat anything just now? There's like body to the cauliflower, and like you're chewing food. It's really good.
It's like, this is how you should do cauliflower, right? Have you tried the fries?
No, but they're pretty good in that range. Oh, these fries are crispy. I didn't know if they would be, and your advice was perfect. Salt them a little bit. Good stuff.
Dip them in the ranch.
Okay, if I have to. Delightful.
Awesome. I'm happy with it. I'm glad you liked it, John.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Of course.
Well, I guess we've done what we came here to do.
I guess we did what we came here to do. Thanks for having dinner with me.
Absolutely, man. Is there anything you'd like to promote?
I'm pretty sure I'll be doing at least one vegan pop-up this year. Yeah, follow @glowupfood on Instagram, and you can get all the updates there.
You're gonna see a lot of funny memes, a lot of good stories, a lot of food-related content. Brian will post food that will make you wish you could just make it right away or try it right away. Definitely give him a follow on Instagram.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, are you kidding me? Like, guest of honor, guest of the year, guest of the year, guest of my life. It's great. You're the best. Can't get enough of you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Excellent. Well, I'm glad you got to eat. You were totally charismatic as ever.
Oh, thank you. It's the grilling with the basting followed by the stock, and then the oven is like such a game changer for cauliflower for me. Like, this is my favorite way to make cauliflower now. It's just like a perfectly cooked vegetable.
Yeah, that was really good.
It's nailing it. Thank you again for having me.
Anytime you want. My next scheduled live stream is February 16th with Scott Kerr of 5 Iron Frenzy. And
Oh, nice, right.
yeah, I'm so stoked for that. We're doing like a chicken soup
Yeah.
kind of thing. So I got to figure out how
Ooh,
I'm
fun.
gonna vegan. I can probably just use jackfruit for the chicken. But
If you want my help, let me know. I can figure it out.
I would love your help. Thanks so much. Yeah.
You're really welcome. And also, thank you. This is really fun.
Well, if there's ever anything I can do for you, up to and including giving you a ride to the hospital or the airport, just let me know. I'm
Awesome.
yeah,
Ditto.
I'm here for you, man.
Ditto, man. Thanks so much.
Anytime.
All right. Have a good night.
See ya.